Hi, I am sure that at some point you might have used the command copy and paste in your spreadsheet. When you use this command, you are literally copying and pasting all the elements of a cell. However, what if you just want to copy the formatting of a cell? Or what if you're just interested in the value itself and you want to completely ignore any format or notes you copied, for example? If you are facing this type of issue, you must use the important tool Paste Special, and that's what this video is about. So let's start. Every data in any cell of your spreadsheet is composed of a few elements. These elements can be a value, a formula, a format, a note, and many others. When you just copy one cell and paste it elsewhere using the standard Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V command, you are basically copying all the elements of the original cell. For example, this cell before has this specific value, specific format, and this note here related to production delays. If I copy this cell and paste it down here, I'll be basically copying all the elements of the original cell, including this note. I can do the same for the cell C11, which contains a value in this specific format, so these elements can then be all replicated down here. This cell E14 has this specific format and this function, which sums all the values of the 11 cells above, using relative reference. If I copy this cell and paste it here, the same format and the relative function will be pasted. In case you need to only copy and paste a single element of a cell instead of all the elements at once, you can then use the Paste Special tool. So first, let's press Ctrl+Z 3 times to undo these actions. Let's imagine we know in advance products F and G will suffer production delays in our factory. We can then select this cell before, press Ctrl+C to copy all the elements of that cell, and then select the cells F and G. And now we can expand this option Paste up here, and we can select which elements we want to paste in this menu. The easiest way to identify the elements you need is to click on this option Paste Special down here, and this box will pop up. In this menu, you can then define which element you are after in this first section. You can also perform mathematical operations with the values you copied, and you can also use some special features related to skip blanks, transpose, and paste link, which we'll cover shortly in this video. For now, just select the element Comments and Notes, which is what we need, and then click on OK. Now, products F and G have the same note as product B, but their specific format remains the same. We can also see in this table that some cells in this column C have this gray background color, and we should instead have this yellow color. So copy this cell C4, for example, select this range C5 to C12, and go back to the Paste Special menu. By the way, you can get to this menu by pressing the shortcut Ctrl+Alt+V, so keep that in mind as this is a crucial shortcut you must know. In this menu, we then just need to select Formats and press Enter. The same format is then applied to all cells you selected. If we press F2 over this cell D6, we can see it's linked to the cell D5, so they have the same result, which is a price of $78 per unit. You can also see this formula in the formula bar above. However, here we should have a value instead of a formula, so select the cell D6, press Ctrl+C to copy all elements of this cell, then press Ctrl+Alt+V to access the Paste Special menu, and here select the option Values and then press Enter. Now, this cell became just an ordinary value, and we can confirm that in the formula bar, which is now just showing the value 78. This cell also needs to have the same format as the cell above, so copy that cell, select the cell D6 again, press Ctrl+Alt+V, select Formats this time, and press Enter. At the corner of this table, we also have this function Sum, which sums up all the values related to revenues in this column E. We need a similar function to be inserted in the cell C14, related to volume sold, But here, you just need the formula itself and not the format. So all you need to do is to copy this cell, then select the cell C14, open the Paste Special menu, and here only choose to paste this element formulas, and then press Enter. The correct result will then be displayed in the cell. The Paste Special command is also useful to manage mathematical operations in Excel without the need to build any formulas in your spreadsheet. In this example, we have the reference number 10 and the base number 100 copied 4 times in this table. The idea here is to perform operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division using these two numbers. So if you need to add this number 10 to this first number 100, you should then copy all the elements of this cell K8 by pressing Ctrl+C, and then you should select the cell J3, press Ctrl+Alt+V, then select the option Values as you are not interested in any format in this case. Note that if you press Enter, you would be basically replacing the number 100 by the number 10, which is not what you need. In this case, the value 10 should be added to the number 100, so in this section Operation, you should click on Add and then press Enter. The result 110 is then returned in the cell. Let's now subtract 10 from 100, so copy the cell K8 again, select the cell J4, press Ctrl+Alt+V, choose Values, and for the field operation, choose Subtract this time, and then press Enter. The result, 90, is then returned in that cell. If you need to multiply the number 100 by the number 10, just use the same procedure, and the result, 1000, will then be returned in the cell. The exact same procedure can be done to divide the number 100 by the number 10, and the result 10 is then displayed in the cell. Are you enjoying this video? Don't forget to watch the second part as there is much more to learn about Paste Special. See you shortly.